You want to claim my answers as your own? Okay. So there was this kid in my chemistry class named Alex who thought he was way smarter than everyone else. We had this teacher who loved doing group competitions where teams would race to solve problems on the whiteboard. Alex always made sure he was on my team because I was pretty good at science. But he had this annoying habit. Every single time we'd go up to the board, I'd start writing the answer, and he'd just stand there watching me work. The second I finished writing, he'd point at my answer and shout it out loud, trying to get credit for solving it first. The teacher would give points to whoever said the answer out loud, so Alex kept getting rewarded for my work. At first I thought maybe he was just excited or nervous, but it happened every single time. I'd do all the thinking and writing, and he'd steal the glory. The worst part was how he'd act afterward, like he was carrying our team, and I was just lucky to be paired with him. One day we were doing this really tough stoichiometry problem about converting moles to grams. I started working through it step by step, writing out the formula and plugging in numbers. Alex was standing right behind me, not even trying to solve it himself, just waiting for me to finish so he could claim it. But this time I had an idea. When I got to the final calculation, instead of writing the real answer, I wrote cheater in big letters across the board. Then I stepped back with this huge smile on my face. Alex, without even looking at what I'd written, pointed at the board and yelled, "Cheater!" at the top of his lungs. The entire class went dead silent for like 3 seconds, then everyone started cracking up. Even the teacher was trying not to laugh. Alex's face turned bright red when he realized what happened. He started stuttering, trying to explain that he wasn't calling anyone a cheater, that he was just reading what was on the board. But everyone knew exactly what had been going on all semester. The teacher finally spoke up and said, "Well, Alex, that's certainly an interesting approach to chemistry." Then she asked him to solve the problem himself since he was so confident. He just stood there staring at the board with no idea where to even start. From that day on, the teacher made it a rule that whoever wrote the answer on the board was the only one who could say it out loud. Alex had to actually start learning the material instead of writing on my work. The funny thing is, after a few weeks of struggling on his own, he came up to me and asked if I could help him study. I said sure, but only if he stopped pretending my answers were his ideas. He actually turned out to be a decent study partner once he dropped the act. But I'll never forget the look on his face when he realized he'd just called himself a cheater in front of the whole class.